Let me say that. For them to take the time to come, that's how much you mean to them. And that's how much they love you. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. So they are serving. The other thing I want to do right quick, like before both of them leave, come there. This is the president, all right, of Beth Israel right here in the city of Newark, New Jersey. Can I get y'all to give him some love? Can I get y'all to give him some love? All right. Listen, at Metro, we don't mess around. We bring out the big guns, all right? I want you to take that. We bring out the big gun. Hey, man, we're pleased with whatever you're doing over there, and you're doing a whole bunch. He's doing more than people really know that he is doing, and he's a down-to-earth brother. Come on, he's urban style. He's a down-to-earth brother that is almost everywhere. Sometimes I call him omnipresent. Sometimes I call him omnipresent because this brother is everywhere. And you keep wondering, how can he cover so much territory? But we want to commend you and all that you are doing. And I have to admit, you are right. Yeah, we blame y'all for divorces and everything else, right? The preachers have to have somebody to offload on, and we're going to do it with the mayor. Come on, let's give them a hand, you all. This was hot. Brother, I'm going to listen to this 3 or 4 times. I am going to listen to this 3 or 4 times. All right, you may be seated. Thank you all so much. All right, you can go. Listen, you all, please be seated. Please be seated. Please be seated. Now, I need all of the brothers to please stay throughout everything. How many of you all were blessed already by what you've heard from the mayor of Newark and the mayor of New York City? So we're going to have this segment right here. We're going to have this segment right here with the doctors. Right? Now, this part is not co-ed. This part right here is all men. And we have doctors here because we want to have a down-to-earth conversation. You don't see a podium here because we want it to be conversational style. We want you to be comfortable. We want you to be open, hear what they have to say. We're going to have some Q&A. In addition to that, when this is over, we're going to have a cooking demonstration. We're going to have a cooking demonstration, and you're going to get some food. Y'all see all those boxes over there? Each one of you all going to take a box of that food. There's no ham hocks in there. No chitlin in there. Amen. Somebody, ain't none of that in those boxes. We want to give you something to take with you. We certainly want you to do the blueprint for wellness because we have another major giveaway when you have your blood drawn. All right? So right now, let me just introduce the facilitator at this time. And I am so, so grateful that he is the facilitator today. This brother right here, many years ago, along with 3 other young men, instead of them signing a pact that they were going to go rob somebody or do drugs, they signed a pact that they were going to get out of school and become a doctor. 3 of them signed that pact. You see one of that 3 here today. He has not, they have held true to that vow. They have not trespassed that vow. God has strengthened them within the context of their commitment to the covenant that they took. And he's standing here today because he's been faithful to that, and he's been faithful to our community. And the doctors will introduce themselves, and we just want to say to you all, we are humble. We are so humble that they would indeed come and be with us today. Amen, somebody? And so I'm going to turn it over to you.
Absolutely.
I think all the mics are live, I think.
I think we're good here. Thank you, Pastor Jefferson.
Okay.
I think we're all good. Yes. Thank you. This is an important event because I think with this we have an opportunity to talk and fellowship and share in a safe space. As men, often we are not open and vulnerable because we often have to be the guards of the gate. And so to be able to sort of share and open up, I think, is important. I think it's important that we have Men's Health Month or Men's Health Years, right? And we have to take care of our bodies because our bodies are our temple. I think Mayor Adams hit it spot on. You know, I think often in our community, being born and raised here in Newark, we look at diabetes and high blood pressure and dialysis as something that we inherit, that we should at a certain stage of life have, and that's not the case. We want to be here for life longevity. We want to be here for our children, for our grandchildren, and there's nothing stronger than being here for that period of time to share. But as we get older, men, we got to make sure we get those tests done, those colonoscopies, those prostate exams. We have a urologist here somewhere, Dr. Johnson, and we have to make sure we get our cancer screenings. You know, I lost a lot of family members from preventable diseases just because of the fear of going to the doctor, because of what the trust issue that relies with going to the doctor. So it's important, even as we talk about diversity, that we see doctors that resemble us and look like us and come from same neighborhoods as we do. And I think we have to empower one another and share in those conversations, because it's just that banter, that similar conversations that we have in the barbershop that sometimes motivate us to go do the things that we often don't want to do. So I want to stop there. I'm Samson Davis. I'm an emergency medicine physician. I think I went into ER because I do like organized chaos and a little blood and guts, but I'm not the guy that you want to see. You know, I am not the person that you want to see, because oftentimes it's not a good situation. So, so with that, you know, make sure these doctors are all from Beth Israel, North Beth Israel. They have their own practice. Some of these guys I've known when I was in high school and college, and I am humbled that they're here. Because I respect the heck out of them. I mean, they are just great at what they do, but more importantly, they care. And so what we want to do in this moment of time that we have here is open the doors and welcome you guys to make sure that you communicate with us, that you share your thoughts and your concerns, ask any questions, but at the same time, realize we are here for you. Nothing make us feel better. And we've seen it all, by the way, man. Don't come in here like think you're gonna show us something we haven't seen. I have people coming like, you never saw. I've seen it. So you know, don't have that embarrassment. But it's important for us that you leave when you meet with us feeling that we have communicated effectively, that you feel empowered to take care of your health. There's nothing more important that you feel that you have the power to take care of your health, that you have a seat at the table when it comes to your health care. So I'm gonna end there because I could talk long. We'll start to the left, if that's okay, or my left, and then we'll go down if all the docs can introduce themselves, and then we'll jump into it.
Good morning. This is on. Thank you for having me. I'm Dr. Kevin Clark, and like Dr. Davis, I'm one of the doctors that you don't want to see, actually. I'm a surgical oncologist, so I take care of patients with all different types of cancer. And I work at Beth Israel with Mr. Terry and most of these gentlemen here.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and empower you with at least some information. I am the guy that you want to see. I'm Dr. Bustillo. I'm internal medicine, so you can see me as your quarterback, when it comes to your health. So whatever questions in regards to diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, anything, please feel free to ask. So it's really a pleasure to be here.
Hi there. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Dr. Omar Bey, pulmonary critical care medicine, subspecialty in nutrition. And I'm absolutely the guy you don't want to see. If you're in my unit, you're sick, so you don't want to see me. I would like to say that, and I do a lot of speaking and talking to our people and about health and all of that kind of stuff, but it's so important what Dr. Davis has said. But I want to add to it just a little bit. I think, and a lot of times when I speak, I talk about doctors. We're in the, I should say, the just in case business. Just in case, do you have a primary doctor? Because you just never know. Just in case, did you, get that prostate check? Did you go and get a PSA? Because that prostate cancer in black men is enormous. If you're 50 years old, and you haven't had a prostate evaluation, that's not good. Because guarantee 110%, I can say that many of you, and I'm not going to put myself out of this, may have prostate problems just because you're black and at your certain age. So just in case, did you get that EKG or did you get that colonoscopy? Because don't think you're out of the loop of disease. Oh, it's not going to happen to me. No. God blessed you with something that's called your body. And let me tell you, it's the most perfect, it's the most expensive thing that you own. If you take you know, I always say this body is perfect until we got it. And we decided to mess it up. You know, the thing of it is that we should be treating it like gold. And sometimes we treat it like an old piece of tin, unfortunately. You know, my dad used to say, you know, if you take a Cadillac, he always wanted a Cadillac. He said, I'm going to get me a Cadillac. I was like, yeah. He said, but, you know, I want to take care of that Cadillac. If I take and get my brand new Cadillac and I drive it out of the showroom and I press my foot on the gas and I don't let it up, then guess what? That Cadillac's going to break down. And basically, that's what so many of us do. We put our foot on the gas and expect this body never to break down. But we need to step back and understand that we're the head of the households. And there are a whole lot of, you know, our families and everybody dependent on black men. So it's important that we take care of ourselves, like they say in the airplane. If the mask come down, put it on yourself before you take care of somebody else. So I'm like Sam. If you give me a microphone, you're in trouble. I'm gonna let that go. I'm gonna be speaking to you, and I got a whole lot more to say, but I'm gonna turn it over to George. One thing I do want to say though, most of these brothers here, don't think that we come from someplace else. I was born on 82 Ridgewood Avenue. If you think my life was easy, ain't happening. All right? So the thing of it is that, and also before and I know I'm taking them now, I want to give it to you in a minute. There's something that a lot of brothers here, we do a webinar every second Saturday of the month at 1 o'clock. And we do a Zoom webinar that you can come in and type your medical question, any medical question at all, we'll answer it right there in front of you. All right? And all you have to do is go to OB Healthy, the letter O, the letter B, healthy.com, hit the doctors, 1 o'clock, every second Saturday, we're sitting there. And believe me, it's worth tuning in. Tell your brothers, sisters, everybody, church members, check us out. All right?
So that's OB Healthy, right?
OB, the letter O, the letter B, and healthy.com. Just go on, hit the doctors. You can sign in, type your medical question in. We're sitting there. We'll answer your medical question.
And that's free. I'm just saying. I know everybody say, oh, you doctors charge and everything else, but that's free advice, I think, and that's important to know only because that's the care that we have and that we want to extend. Not that there's always a pathway, I think, a disconnect sometimes when it comes to talking to doctors. And I know, especially when I'm in the emergency department, patients talk to me like, oh, I didn't feel like sharing this with my primary. And I remember I was a kid, and I don't mean to take up much time, but my mother would dress me up to go to the pediatrician, put a lot of baby powder on me, right, to go to the pediatrician to be seen. Like it was as if she was doing an interview to see the doctor. But I think having a communication pathway to ask any question to any physician is important. And so, you know, bring your questions and tune in. I think that's a great platform that exists, obhealthy.com. So make sure to ask your questions, because it often starts with a question and a thought, and that leads to other processes to get to where you need to go.
Right. Thank you, Sam. And believe me, they're black doctors, so you can be comfortable now. Go ahead, Joe.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Yes. I see some familiar faces. I am a urologist. My name is Dr. Johnson. I practice, actually, I was educated in this community. I trained in this community. I went to what was before University of Medicine and Dentistry, which has since become Rutgers University. I remember when that University Hospital was built. I guess I was one of the first people to set foot in it. I was educated in those little blue buildings. So I've practiced. I've been in staff at Beth Israel, St. Michael's. I'm currently on staff at Cooperman Barnabas Medical Center. So I am a board-certified urologist, and as I said, I see a lot of familiar faces. And you do want to see me. You may not like what I do, but you do want to see me, all right? And it's an honor to be here, and I'm happy to be able to address some of your questions, and we'll talk about prostate cancer screening, and we're here to answer your questions.
Morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Patrick Oskos. I'm working in psychiatry over at Beth Israel in the Emergency Crisis Center. I also have a subspecialty board certified with children and adolescents. I'm here to offer my time to remind you guys what the others doctors mentioned is that it's an open discussion to feel comfortable, because sometimes we take for granted things that we assume are just things we should be doing. But mental health is something that's primary that leads to other things. And we assume tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow will start, or we'll start now, but maybe I could kind of bring you insight that we already started. You know, there's medicine, there's surgery, but sometimes it's just what we talk about in psychiatry, which is protective factors, risk factors, and some of the most important protective factors is something we're already doing right now. And that's faith in God, it's our community, it's church, that's one. And some of this, I have my father here, you have your sons, and that's family. You know, you came together. So we already started on the right foot today. And I'm here to remind you with the other doctors that it's an open discussion, and this is what we should be doing, and today's a good day.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Patrick Anderson. There's a reason I'm sitting at the end, because while this is men's health, I'm a GYN, gynecologic oncologist. So I take care of women cancer and collaborate with many of these docs on the panel. My role in all this is to say to you that any cancer, whether it's a male cancer or a woman's cancer, it's a cancer that affects the family, it affects relationship, it impacts on mental health, it impacts on how we relate to each other, and many cancers that affect men affect women, and many cancers that affect women affect men, and I'm here to provide the information that expose the link.
Let me tell you, the brother is humble. This brother's, the reason we asked him to be here truly is because his knowledge is broad and wide. The brother's bad. That's why we asked him to come.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you guys. I want to give you guys a round of applause for being here. Everyone, all of us, because I think this conversation is important. There's a few topics we want to discuss, and obviously we want to be able to answer questions. I think we should start with sort of knowing that the body is the mind, the spirit, and the soul. So speaking of just overall nutrition and starting with the body, we hear about preventative medications, we hear about high blood pressure, we hear about diabetes, and I think that's a great place to start. Dr. Basil, if you don't mind sharing some information on what is, I guess, the concept with high blood pressure. I often have patients say to me, well, I didn't feel my blood pressure, so I know it's not high. I don't have a headache. Or I didn't feel, as Mayor Adams shared, I didn't feel my sight was changing or the numbness. But if you can share some information on the pathway, the beauty about the body is that it's resilient, and it can withstand a heck of a lot until it can't any longer.